It's nice to see and get back here on stage again. I have a great set of panelists here. Let me get on to the topic straight away. India today stands at a pivotal stage. We are leading the world in terms of certain activities like digital public infrastructure, and we are racing to catch up with certain activities like maybe smart cities or semiconductors or AI. So today let's discuss on what's happening, what is working for us, where we need to catch up, what is missing, and also what will take us if we have the right investments, right partnerships and ecosystem. So let's get on to the topic straight away. We don't have much time. Okay. So in one word, I would like to ask the audience as to what smart infra means. Some of you can probably tell me what smart infrastructure means. Any of you? Okay, maybe after the session you will be able to tell us more. If somebody's, yes? Being well connected. Perfect, yeah. So I think most of what we have to discuss is already done with one word. Yeah. So also, what we see when we enter electronic city is smart infra. Perfect. This is a microcosm of smart infrastructure, I should say. Thanks. Okay. So how many of you believe that by the year 2030, we are going to have some smart infrastructure that's going to have a positive effect on your life? Many of you. Thanks so much. So incidentally, we are seated in Electronic City, which is a smart city, and ELCITA conceived and developed this smart city. We have Dr. Veerappan, who is the chairman of ELCITA. Let me start off with Dr. Veerappan. Any questions? No, not too many, yeah. So ELCITA's township model is often cited as a working example of integrated digital and physical infrastructure. What is unique about this? And also, can you say that if this model can be replicated as a blueprint for other cities? And before that, we want to know a little bit about the journey of ELCITA, how it began.
Thank you, Nandini. I think most of the people know about ELCIA and ELCITA here. I just want to tell good morning to all of you. ELCIA started in 1992. It's called Electronic City Industry Association. Started basically like any other industry association to take care of the needs of the companies in Electronic City. That's the intention started. Our visionary leaders were there to start this. Then slowly it took care of the little bit of companies' needs in the Electronic City. Then slowly it moved, taking care of the problems in Electronic City, being maybe a problem in the road or problem in water supply, problem, a little bit of all those things, but it's all as an industry body, it's an association body. Then it took on and on, he collected the membership fees from different members, each annual membership fee, and also we have per employee, there is a fee which has to be paid. This is the model Electronic City started. Then later part of it, I think more and more responsibility came, then all the visionary leaders, NRN and I can tell all the visionary leaders at that time decided, why don't we run the city by ourselves? Means the city, so this got motivated in 2010, that we should have something of our own, we should have a means township which will be taken care by us rather than depending on the government. So this with the motive 2010, 2013, ELCITA was formed. It's Electronic City Industrial Township Authority was formed. It is under the Urban Development Department of Municipal Act. The Act got changed, and then this is the only country's industrial township. Maybe Jamshedpur is one, but it is a park. It's clearly defined as one of the industrial township. That means that we collect tax, we run the township. And the elections are not like your corporate or BBMP elections. The people are managing committee members are elected by the industries here. The industries vote and select the 5 management committee members. And we have other 3 government nominees in this and 2 elected. 10 members run this. It's like corporators and like a mayor running this body. And it's going on. For want of time, I think I'm not going to explain too much about it. More details there in the website, you can ask us. So it all started in 2013. We are about 12 years now, 1 decade. 12 years we have done so much looking forward things. You can see we have become zero waste to landfill. We don't spend any waste to the Mother Earth. That's one. We have become water positive. As of 3 months before, we become water positive. Lot of initiatives happening here. You saw the video. We are going to provide complete internet, means free internet to all the MSMEs in Electronic City. So a lot of initiatives happening here. So to ensure that the Electronic City model township for the country, I think it is being taken care by all of us for us.
Thank you, Dr. Veerappan, and I can clearly understand from the way audience are nodding that they want to know more. Maybe we can arrange for a separate webinar with you and we can have more info from ELCITA to the audience.
Absolutely.
Okay, now that we've heard about the big picture, about the policy and also about the cluster model, let's look at what is needed in terms of investment and innovation angles. So my question is for Klaas. Klaas, see, in India, Aadhaar, UPI and India Stack are called as the envy of the world. What lessons can we take from their success to build future infrastructure?
No, I think you pointed out correctly that it's the envy of the world. And it's interesting because in this electronic city, the father of Aadhaar and UPI initiative, of course, Nandan Nilekani. So there's a direct linkage with Electronic City, but I think the other interesting one there is that it's really a public-private partnership that's worked out. The government was involved, RBI, MPCI, the banks were involved, private sector was involved, and I think what's really working is that the infrastructure was kept very simple, but there was a clear understanding that we needed the private sector to build on top of the stack. So the India stack as such is unique, and if you speak to a Google or an Apple, they will say we need this in the US. Cost of digital payments way too high in the US, and India has really crashed it. And I think that's also one of the big India advantages. With the 1.4 billion people, we can really build for scale, and when that scale gets achieved, you do get to the lowest cost solution globally. UPI, Aadhaar is a good example of that, but I think Geo is also a good example of where, sheer scale has given India the lowest data cost on 5G. So net, I think on the back of that, a lot of innovation has happened, and there's enough and more capital available. India is the one bright spot out there globally. China has all sorts of risks attached to it right now. So there's a high number of domestic investors and increasingly also large family offices and the likes who see a ton of opportunity, but there's also all sorts of global investors at every set of the spectrum. So early stage investors, seed and Series A, as well as late stage and buyout shops. Everyone is just seeing the massive opportunity that India has, and that comes from a stable government, some very interesting new age infrastructure, digital infrastructure. So fintech is a prime example. There's some other examples as well. We'll touch upon it in the discussion a little later. But I think net capital is absolutely available and I've been here 20 years. It's just amazing to see how the entrepreneurial ecosystem has blossomed over the past 20 years and exploded. So net, I think capital and investment opportunities are plenty. There are still some bottlenecks. We'll touch on those in the further discussion as well.
Thank you, Klaas. So the startups out here, you can make a note of this, that you can build it up and take it forward with whatever is already available, the India Stack model. But none of this scales without the right skills and the corporate backbone. So let's bring in the Bosch perspective. So Dr. Cyrus, in your opinion, what should be done at the education and skills level to truly make India a global digital and AI powerhouse?
Well, Nandini, on education and skills level, the first thing that comes into your mind is definitely curricula, universities, schooling, and all that. So I'm convinced India or every country has to start right away with a consequent curricula, start early. But to be honest, these things, there are many university professors and many academics that know that much better than me. So that's not where I want to focus. What I would like to focus is we, and there also Bosch stands for, is we have to give also hands-on experience. Because a skill that you obtain by learning it, you really own it after using it in the industry. So there are also collaborations possible, and out of my view, extremely important. That's how you create talent. But maybe equally important is also to keep talent in the country. So India is a country where also many people live abroad, and how can we keep the critical workforce inside the country to contribute here? There are many examples internationally. I was working before in Romania, and Romania is also the IT hub of Europe. There were, for example, incentives on taxes to keep IT people inside the country. But if I look in the audience, I see also tech people, and I see tech leaders as well. And I want to use this opportunity to also highlight the importance of the leadership with the young generation, with the young tech guys. Old school, hierarchical, top-down leadership might not work to inspire people. So whoever is a leader here should reflect about his or her leadership behavior with the young generation. I think that is utmost important, and that you don't learn in universities.
Thank you, Cyrus. My second question is also to you. So, since you spoke about skilling that's available in plenty in India, I understand that is why Bosch leverages Indian tech talent for global AI projects. So what makes India a hub for this work?
Well, first of all, India is a growing economy, and global companies like to invest in growing economies. And if we look around on the globe, there are not many growing economies right now, so India is in a very fortunate position here. The second thing is the demographics. So I believe around 50% of the population is between 15 and 40 years old. And that makes it extremely appealing, and shows a high potential for IT, tech, and AI. And also, Indian, let's say, society is very much tech-driven. I think Klaas was speaking about that. So it comes naturally to the Indian population, to the young ladies and gentlemen. And last but not least, it's also not a secret that it is also very cost competitive to be here. So I can say that Bosch out of India is really having hundreds of people supporting globally AI projects, and supporting globally digitalization projects, and I have to say I'm impressed by the workforce in India.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, Cyrus. My next question is to Klaas. Having said so much about the Indian talent and skilling and the startups that are mushrooming in India, I have a very peculiar question as to why do many Indian startups, AI startups, relocate to the US after the seed funding? What can change to keep them scaling in India?
It's not an easy question, but I think the easy answer is US market is still many times bigger than the India market. Adoption and innovation is also ahead. The kind of foundational large language models, of course, there's some out of China as well. It's more of an arms race between China and the US there. But clearly, most product startups have seen that the big market for them is the US. And let's not kid ourselves, even for the IT services firms, whilst all the delivery would happen out of India, customers has always been US. So that was the case for IT services. It's been the case for the SaaS companies, for Zoho and Freshworks. It's now the case for AI as well. Truth be told, many of the investors push their founders. They will say to their founders, look, the pace of innovation is faster, ecosystem is more evolved, so I'll give you your seed check, but under the condition that you relocate to the market where there's the maximum depth and the maximum opportunity to address a large TAM, which is what venture plays for. They play for that, 1 in 20 portfolio companies that really takes off, and then that then kind of creates the massive fund returners that pay for all the failures that are also going to be there in the portfolio. I think in India, and if you look at the region, typically more steady compounding has worked out. if you go for the India market. So there is definitely an opportunity here. It's growing. We believe that certain verticals, deep verticals such as financial services, deep verticals such as healthcare, there can be vertical AI solutions that you build for India that can also scale. It might not scale to kind of a $20 billion type of outcome, but it might still scale to an outcome that you can take public here in India. So net, near term, most of the people who are really going to go for the big leagues will still focus on the US market and will be pushed by their investors to focus on the US market. But we've seen examples, and on the product side, for instance, Perfios is a perfect example of a business that is predominantly focused here on India, but has started to get to critical scale in financial services. And we do believe that the next 5 years, just given the growth that's there in India, that there will be more companies which will say, okay, India market also offers opportunity to build something big, but it might not be something global.
Thank you. So, as we understand that Indian market is growing equally and trying to match the size of the ticket size is growing bigger, trying to match the size of the US market, and we are getting there. It's about another 5 years for us to go to reach there. Thanks,
I wish
Klaas.
it was 5 years. I think it's a little longer. But
It's
yes.
a little more.
But
Yeah.
in 5 years, definitely the opportunity set is going to be much bigger.
I'm being very optimistic about this. Yeah. So my next question is to Dr. Veerappan. So whatever we are talking about, nothing can go on and improve or reach the final result without semiconductors getting more mature in India. So the India Semiconductor Mission, or the ISM, has been called as a dream come true. But there are some hurdles. What's the current reality? Are we yet there? And what's going to happen next?
Okay, I represent India Electronics Semiconductor Association also. Are we in exciting times in semi and electronics in India? Agree? Why? I'll tell you some interesting numbers for all of you to be really excited. Klaas talk about the UPI, right? How many UPI transactions we do a day as Indians? Huh? 640 million.
Yeah.
Per day, UPI alone. The digital transaction altogether is 1 billion a day. If we sleep like 6-7 hours, 17 hours we do like 1 billion transaction a day as Indians. So how many people are impacted in this? No, totally involved is 491 million people are in this space. We are there in digital transaction a day. I have these numbers. One is 491 million people are involved. 65 million merchants are connected. 675 banks. 675 banks, 65 million merchants, 491 million people do 640 million transactions a day in the country. Why I'm telling all these things? Is all this possible without semiconductor and electronics? Nothing is possible without chip. So we are so happy. This is one area which digitization has grown in the country. From 2,000 transactions in 2017, in 7 years, we have grown to 18,000 crores a month now. From 2,000 crores to 18,000 crores is the growth in the last 7 years in this digitization. That is one. And the amount transacted in UPI alone is, as of today, is 24 lakh crores. That means, right, most of the time it all go seamless. You touch, it get transacted, you get all these things happening. So these are all some interesting numbers for all of you that we are in the exciting times for the country on semiconductor electronics. See, consumption of semiconductor today is about $30 billion, which is going to be 100 billion by 2030. Means threefold increase in the consumption of semiconductor. In electronics, we are at 150 billion today, which is going to be 500 billion by 2030. IESA done we talked about the India GDP, right? Morning, Krish was telling 4.2 trillion. And India is going to have a 30 trillion by 2047, right? For 100 years of Vikasit Bharat. So IESA did a survey about this. What will be electronics by the time in 2047, 100 years after India independence? The number is almost equivalent to India GDP. We will be $4 trillion of electronics GDP by 2047. That's the number. That's the number is coming out. So electronics is really, to today, semicon electronics is the name. What happened in 1990s, right? IT services came. We all know about IT, information technology, all our Infosys, Wipro, all these companies grew in this from 90s onwards. 2000, we heard about year to Y2K. Right? Y2K was one we heard about, year 2000, that went on. Now I think that in 2022, India's semiconductor mission started, 2022, with the hope that India is going to be in the semicon space. In the last 3 years, we have done so much on India semiconductor mission. I'll tell some interesting things which happened after starting India semiconductor mission in 2022. As India, we import all the chips. We never, till now, we have not manufactured any chip out of the country. This is true. We don't make any commercial wafer out of the country. Even though we consume that much of 30 billion, we all import. First time in the country, dream come true. You said no, dream
Absolutely.
come true for the India semiconductor mission. The first fab, Tata in Dholera, is on. We are going to get the commercial wafer out in 2027. That is first dream come true, that India will have our own wafer manufactured in India by 2027 by Tata. That is one dream come true. The second is post-wafer OSAT, which is called the assembly, test and mark and pack, or outsourced assembly and test OSAT. We never produced till last year, till now, we don't have a large volume packaging plant in the country. So again, thanks to ISM, the India Semiconductor Mission, the dream come true for all of us. The first packaged wafer, large volume, is going to out of Sanand, which is by Micron, any time from now. Already is up. We have announced 4 more OSAT factory. So that means that manufacturing point of view, the wafer is being manufactured in the country. Also the assembly and test is also coming to the country. With all these things, we are absolutely in exciting times on this. If we take electronics, right, if you're talking about electronics assembly, the EMS, Pranut person said no morning, we are top 6 in the world. You name any EMS players, you would name Foxconn or Flextronics or Sanmina or Jabil or our own Tata Electronics, all of them are manufacturing here in the country, means assembly in the country. EMS is a big market. We are number 6, we are going to be number 3. I think you are also, Tescom was also in EMS. So
Absolutely.
we are going to be number 3 EMS in the world. You know, right, that almost 35% of Apple iPhones are being assembled out of India. I'm not saying manufacturing, assembled out of India. So like this, the times are very, very exciting. I think anybody in electronics, I think they can look for, this is like India's semiconductor mission, dream come true, from IT services to semicon and electronics manufacturing. In submission, so exciting times for us.
Thank you, Dr. Veerappan. But for all this to happen, we need some kind of global collaboration. So my question is to Dr. Cyrus on this. So if India has to develop with a semiconductor mission, we need global collaboration. But what challenges do global MNCs face in India's infrastructure landscape, and how can they be overcome?
Oh, okay. So every multinational company, I think every single multinational company is now also suffering or uncertain due to geopolitical issues which are ongoing. And in order to answer the question, we also have to understand Bosch in India, for example. Yes, we are looking at the local needs and the local market. But at the end of the day, we are also a global company. So we take global decisions for local needs. And one example is the relationship with that one country, Eastern country. It is giving tremendous headaches to Bosch. As an example, there are products which are currently imported to China, and we have to take decisions whether we localize in India or not, and just not being able to collaborate easily with China is a big burden for Bosch. That's the very first thing. Nevertheless, also other points where, for example, when we take localization decisions, There are incentives. There are many incentives. Bosch is also supported by incentives. But at the time of the decision, whether we produce locally or globally, the certainty whether an incentive is applicable or not, that is something which is not there. So we don't know really what to calculate with, which makes decisions sometimes harder. So these are just two issues that global companies might have in India. Of course, there are also other issues like or challenges, let's say, the infrastructure, so the logistic costs for the company here, if you compare it Bosch in India versus Bosch somewhere else, the logistic costs are comparatively higher. But I would say in all the areas, India is really developing, so it's nothing to be worried about. The trend is positive in all the areas. So I'm very, very hopeful that also multinational companies will further grow in India.
That's a very nice and positive statement. Thank you. So now let's look at future for a short while. My question is to Klaas on this. So what will it take for venture capitalists to back government-linked projects like smart cities more confidently?
Yeah, I think B2G in the US is a massive space, and there's a lot of investors who are specialized. But I think there's, okay, maybe it's changing a bit with the current government, but there's a lot of predictability there. Contracts are being honored, decision making is swift, payments are on time. Now, that's what we need in India. Transparency, quick decision making, and on-time payments. And we probably need to see a couple of good examples, because success begets success. Right now, I think with most investors are feeling that, you know, a lot of the industries that have done well in India have done well in spite of the government, or because it was outside of the remit of the government. Yes, we have a bunch of public-private partnerships that have worked now, but again, if you look at UPI, to a large extent, it was kept out of the remit of government. So net, I think it will come down to seeing one or two success stories where the government doesn't become fickle-minded, stays clear to its goals, and we're starting to see that with the Semiconductor mission, with the AI mission. For instance, on the AI mission, if the government follows through on its financial commitments, then I think there will be more investors comfortable backing companies riding on that rails. So net, transparency, speed of decision making, and first and foremost, on-time payment.
Thanks. So all decision makers, please note that we need to be more fast and transparency should be there. Yes. So my final question to Dr. Veerappan will be on what role can ELCIA and other industry clusters play in accelerating public-private collaboration?
I think I think Klaas talked about it, right? This is very, very important today. See, we should appreciate, first of all, we should all stop blaming government. It's not easy. Somebody tells about ELCITA, comparing ELCITA to PBMP. I think we are comparing to an ant to an elephant. No way. I think we should be very, very clearly, we should respect what the government people are doing. You know, instead of course, it is not easy. ELCITA is 900 acres. We are talking about BBMP as a corporation, and no, this is nothing. What we are doing is in minuscule in comparing to all these things. So first of all, as a public, as a citizen, my request is, we are all responsible. It is not BBMP. I think all individuals are responsible. It is a waste management. I'll tell you, in Electronic City, we do 16.5 tons a day. 16.5 tons a day only we do waste. Whereas the Bangalore city does 55,000 tons a day. We all citizens, you know where it is going. We all sleep in the night, all are getting transported out of the city. There's tons of waste by different trucks happening out of the city. I think let's all appreciate the good job I think the government is doing. So my request to all of you is, please, we should not too much of start blaming the government. That's one request from ELCITA's side. Then the second is that they can duplicate the same model across. That's to answer your question. See, first of all, keeping ELCITA intact itself is tough for us. Because everybody is eyeing on this model, and government really wants to take over for very obvious reasons, right? We can't, the government, the local people, the local politicians, all of them are losing this important revenue for them. So I can't say openly, but everybody is eyeing for it, no, which is quite natural. So first of all, keeping it tight. Then second is that it's all government has to think, not us. The government has to be a part to do this duplication, like Pinya came, Bidadi came. In fact, Bommasandra, Madam Kiran Mazmudar visited here. Last week she was here in a conference. She told us Bommasandra Industrial Estate has to be taken by ELCITA. Somebody from Pinya has to be taken by ELCITA. I think the government has to mandate this as a rule, right? Whatever is that, but what happened now, the private-public partnership is very, very important. See, this is nothing but, we are private, government, we are doing the partnership and delivering what the public wants. I think very important, the government look at the model across. And we have requests from Indore, we have requests from, I think Rama is here. Rama, wherever goes, people are asking, why don't we do this in our city or our state? So this can be definitely, we can replicate this model across. The only thing is the mindset of government. The mindset of politician is very, very important in this case. Industries can all, we know that what benefit we all got out of this township. But my only thing in this is, if you want to replicate the model across, it has to be a government and the politician mindset to accept this public-private partnership to make each of the township or city as a model township or a smart city. So it's them, it's not us. We are ready, but they have to change the mindset.
Thank you, Dr. Veerappan. Since we have eminent panelists, I would stop my questions. I would want the audience, because the panelists are so special that I want the audience to interact with them. Any questions from the audience?
Maybe just questions and not comments, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
So this is a test of whether you were really attentive, listening to all our eminent panelists. Any questions anyone would like to ask at this stage? Yes, we have one over there.
Yeah, so you mentioned that semiconductor chips we take care of as a country per se, right? But when you look at the globally and geopolitically, semiconductor chip is becoming the headache for the companies like NVIDIA and all, right? So are we trying to play the global role here and lead the country in that way?
Okay, I think to answer your question, with NVIDIA or Intel or AMD, I think one more thing is, apart from what we manufacture here, we don't have a single chip out of India. Where is India Intel? Where is India AMD? Where is India Qualcomm? Where is India NVIDIA? We don't have any, like same thing what happened to where is India Sony? Where is India, I can say even your washing machines, all India has gone now into imports, right? So where was India, Bonida, Solitaire, which when we were young kids, all these have gone, we have completely imported. Now thanks to again the dream come true, India Semiconductor Mission has started this initiative. L&T is coming to making chip for Indians, by Indians here, out of India. So first chip out of it will be like a Texas Instrument chip or a chip, but it's from L&T. So Indian chips are going to come shortly. In the next 16 months, they are going to come out with the India chip. Means India designed for India chip is going to come out. So that will settle all this NVIDIA thing, right? We will produce our own chip, which we will also export. So we are all waiting for L&T to first come with their 17 products, out of which one chip or two chip is coming out very shortly. It will be branded like our own Intel chip or our own Qualcomm, India made chip, which is also going to come through.
Great,
Dr.
good to
Cyrus,
know. Thank you.
Would you like to add?
Yes, let's give a huge round of applause, because it is exciting times, and if Dr. Veerappan is excited, then something big is going to happen. Dr. Cyrus.
I want to congratulate you for this great question. So it is great times ahead for India, very, very exciting times in the semiconductor business as well. There are many challenges, which also, for example, Tata is not afraid of and will definitely manage, and India will manage 100% with the power also of the government, as you mentioned. But some challenges are there. One of the challenges is what you mentioned. So globally, there is around 20 to 40% overcapacity currently. That's the first thing which needs to be handled. And also another challenge is you come from the angle of self-reliant and not being dependent on any region or country. You can also produce here several semiconductors, ASICs or whatever. At the very end, you also need the resistors and transistors and all that things to produce electronics. So there are a lot of challenges, but if there is one collaboration that can make it is the Indian government and Tata, definitely. And also regarding this, Bosch is into semiconductors. And maybe you have read around 10 days ago, there was also a strategic collaboration
With
between
Tata Electronics
and Bosch, where we will also support with our knowledge.
Congratulations to Bosch on this
Nandini,
partnership.
to add this, I think I have to add this. I talked about the actives, which is the chips. You talked about the resistor and passives. I am again sorry to say, as in India, we import 99.999% of all passives. We don't manufacture components. Sanjeev Keshkar must be here from ISA. We don't import, our ELCITA is here. We don't, they're all pushing to make sure that the components are also manufactured in the country. So don't worry, we will compete with the global, even in components shortly.
Thanks.
Okay, we'll take one last question.
Yeah.
So, please ensure the mic is on.
Audible?
Yes.
Yes.
It is for infrastructure, Mr. Veerappan, Dr. Veerappan. Long time it has been running in my mind. The drainage system in Electronic City, we are just managing ourselves. I mean, the sense we don't have a drainage system in the Electronic City. And we don't have a Kaveri water supply to all the factories. This is the basic things which has been given by almost all corporation area, even the neighboring villages, they are getting it. But this is a thing that is been not been given to us. That is one which is always running in my mind. Another question is, as a pollution we talk, even a smell, bad smell is also a pollution like. When our people in the factory, they go and smoke near my that roadside, I tell them, please don't smoke there, come this side. Why do you want to smell that dirty smell there? It's in the second stage. And such a dirty smell is coming over in the street. Fine, it is a nice road and well maintained, everything is so. Is it a cosmetic or is it the ground reality is what? This is the question that has been running in my mind from so many years.
Veerappan sir,
I have the opportunity to ask, please, Mr. Veerappan.
So Veerappan sir, do we have ELCITA election?
No, that's what. I thought it's a town hall.
Yes.
So we will answer thing in the ELCITA town hall. This is a summit, but definitely your question is valid. I will not take it today because it is separately. We will talk about this to you because ELCIA summit. I think your question is valid. We will take it up later, not today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nandini ma'am, with your permission, I have got a question to Mr. Klaas and Dr. Cyrus.
Sure, please.
Both of you have traveled the world. You have seen different cultures. You have seen different ecosystem. I request you not to be politically correct. We'll not hold it against you. Because a good friend always stabs you from the front. What kind of really frustrates you working here? What kind of makes you feel that, you know what? Because there's so much of opportunity.
Why are you asking this?
Because a good friend always stabs you from the front. Because we can't see our own back. So quickly, where do you think we're missing?
No. Cyrus should go first because we were sitting here and he was saying, why is this not starting on time? And I said to him, that's IST, India Stretch Time. So I've been here 20 years. I always say I've been at the right place at the right time. And I've just been super lucky to be here whilst India's taken off and the next 10 years are going to be even brighter. There's much more fire in the belly here. Tomorrow's a better day, high entrepreneurial energy. So all those things, to me, I just feel plain lucky that I've been here for the past 20 years and see myself being here for much longer. Yeah, sometimes traffic is frustrating, sometimes Indian jugaad or cutting corners, sometimes playing a bit more by the rules and having a bit more respect for environment. But yeah, all in all, happy camper.
Well, he has got the word jugaad in his vocabulary now. Dr. Cyrus.
I appreciate Klaas. He asks you and you start with what I said. Thank you very much for... I'm 1.5 years now in India. You can imagine I get this question a lot. And I never like to answer to that question without saying the positive sides first. India has a great population. India has a great and rich culture. The welcoming attitude of the people is just overwhelming, especially for foreigners. And unfortunately, I have to say, India has also great food. So, this is really great. On the working side, if you have a purpose, if you have a leadership with motivation, I have never seen people working so hard as I've seen it here in India, and this is really tremendous out of my view. Of course, there are also some things, Klaas mentioned it on my behalf. I live in Indranagar. I come every day to Electronic City. The mornings are pleasant, the evenings are horrible, and also, I can tell you my working hours. But on the other hand side, now on a serious note, what I really think, we compare ourselves in India compared to China as well, right? And this I mean it because I also love India. In the one or the other things, we need to get more serious, and we need to get more committed and walk the talk more than we do today in order to really unleash the potential. And I really hope for India this happens.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dr. Cyrus.
Thanks to the panelists, and I would like to close this session with a one-liner that India is not racing to catch up, but we want to lead the world. And so we'll take all these as actionable points and not as discussion points alone. We can make India smarter, greener, and truly inclusive. Thank you.